Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Robert Young stars in an episode of Father Knows Best, going all the way back to June 12, 1952, encouraging Bud to lead his own life. And you know, this is going to get kind of strange, but that's the way it works. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday. This is the 12th day of June, 163rd day of the year, 202 days remaining. Near Virginia City, Nevada, the Comstock lode discovered in 1859. We talked about that quite a bit on the Nevada Talk Network. At Virginia City is close to KNNR 1400 AM, who carries this program on the Nevada Talk Network. John Lee Richmond pitched baseball's first perfect game on this date in 1880. Emil Aguinaldo, head of the Philippines Nationals, proclaimed independence from Spain in 1898. The Baseball Hall of Fame opened to the public on this date in 1939 in Cooperstown, New York. And Diane Frank received a diary for her birthday in 1942. Civil rights leader Medgar Evers fatally shot on this date in 1963 in front of his home in Jackson, Mississippi. President Nixon's daughter Patricia married Edward Finch Cox, no relation, in a White House Rose Garden ceremony in 1971. In 1978, David Berkowitz, the son of Sam Killer, sentenced to 365 years in prison for 6 killings. Nicole Brown Simpson, Ronald Goldman murdered outside her home in Los Angeles on this date in 1994. O.J. Simpson would be criminally acquitted of the killings, but held liable in a civil suit. Interleague play began in baseball on this date in 1997, ending a 126-year tradition of separating the major leagues until the World Series. 49 civilians killed, 58 others injured in an attack on a gay nightclub in Orlando on this date in 2016. The gunman, Omar Mateen, killed in a gunfight with police. In 2017, American student Otto Warmbier returned home in a coma after spending 17 months in a North Korean prison. He would die a week later. And in 2018, President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un of North Korea held their first meeting between the leaders of their two countries in Singapore. Passing away on this date in history, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, Philip Livingston, musician Jimmy Dorsey, Milburn Stone, he played Doc Adams in the television version of Gunsmoke, and Christopher Collins, actor and comedian, and fashion designer Bill Blass, all passing away on this date in history, along with Gregory Peck, Mr. Wizard Don Herbert, and the woman whose voice you know as Judy Jetson, Josie and Josie and the Pussycats, and on radio as the title character in Meet Corliss Archer, Janet Waldo, all passing away on this date in history. This is the birth date of banker David Rockefeller, the master of disaster, the man behind Lost in Space, The Poseidon Adventure, and The Towering Inferno, producer Irwin Allen. This is also the birth date of President George Herbert Walker Bush, singer Vic Damone, actor Jim Nabors, born on this date as well, Chick Corea the musician, born on this date as well. He passed away last year at the age of 69. From 30-something and Field of Dreams, Timothy Busfield is 65. AEW coach and producer Jerry Lynn is 59. Also, Mark Henry, formerly from the WWE, now in AEW, is 51 years of age. Victoria's Secret model Adriana Lima is 41. And from Scrubs and the 21 Jump Street reboot, David Franco is 37. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 12th day of June as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
And from 70 years ago, June 12, 1952, Robert Young in Father Knows Best. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to this Sunday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medi-Share for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medi-Share's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medi-Share is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
If you've seen Father Knows Best on television, you'll notice the character names are all the same, but you'll also notice the presentation is dramatically different. The radio show was much more a ha-ha, hee-hee comedy, where Robert Young wanted the TV show to be a warmer comedy show, and so that's what you got. June 12th, 1952, Father Knows Best here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Now listen to Father Knows Best, transcribed, starring Robert Young as Father. Welcome to Springfield and another half-hour visit with the folks in the White Frame House on Maple Street. Sit back and enjoy life with the Andersons, Kathy, Bud, Betty, Margaret, and Jim, as the head of this typical American household again sets out to prove that Father knows best. There comes a time in every boy's life when he begins to feel that his britches are getting a touch too small for him, and it is high time he dons a more worldly pair of trousers. In the White Frame House on Maple Street, young Bud Anderson has of late been feeling the pinch of his present existence and has his eye on a more expanded life. He feels the need of such things as, well, for example, things like this.
Mom,
Yes, Bud, what is it?
can I get a flat top?
Now, what in the world is a flat top?
A haircut. Sort of like a butch, but not exactly.
You mean where they shave your head?
They don't shave you. What they do is...
Absolutely not.
But, Mom, they don't...
The answer is no.
Holy cow. You treat me as if I were a kid.
Well, for goodness sake, what are you?
I'm old enough to run my own life.
Oh, now, Bud, don't get started on that again.
Might as well put iron bars on my windows.
Oh, sure. Just where could you have it any better?
A lot of places.
Name one.
Claude Messner says a guy can rent that room up over Mr. Engel's feed store for only $5 a month.
I'll bet.
Well, you can, and all you have to do is just sweep out the feed store every morning.
I can just see you living upstairs over a feed store.
Well, at least I could live my own life.
Margaret, I'm home.
Hey, there's Dad. I'm going to ask him about the haircut.
Now, don't bother him with that.
If he says it's okay, can I?
I'm still against it.
Dad, hey, Dad.
Oh, hello, son. Where's your mother?
In the kitchen. Dad, I want to ask you something.
How much will it cost me?
Just the price of a haircut, but what I want to know is...
Daddy!
Oh, why does she have to butt in?
Daddy, can I earn my own money?
Get lost, shrimp boat.
Oh, it turned blue.
Well, I can see that I'm home and everything is natural. Now let's take up these big problems one at a time. Go ahead, Kathy. Ladies first, I guess.
Oh, sure. It's always that.
Well, Daddy, I
Ladies
want to...
first.
Bud, keep quiet. Go on, Kathy.
Well, Daddy, I want to
She's
earn...
no lady.
Bud, let her talk.
Okay. I'm gonna get that room over the feed store.
Well, Daddy, I want to earn my own money to go to a summer camp for girls. Can I?
I'm heartily in favor of it. Now, how do you propose to raise all this money?
Oh, that's easy. All we have to do is sell 30 boxes of Camp Girl taffy.
Oh, that's all, huh?
50 cents a box.
I see.
How many boxes do you want, Daddy?
Well, I don't want any.
I just thought maybe you'd buy some for a starter.
Oh.
You know, say 20 boxes.
20? Now, what would I do with 20 boxes of taffy?
Is this conversation about over?
As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Well, how about just 5, Daddy?
I'll take 2, and that's my absolute top.
Thanks. I'll go get you taffy.
Don't hurry.
Dad.
All right, now what is it, Bud?
Well, what I wanted to know... Oh, for Pete's sake.
I'll get it. I'm sure it's for me.
We better go upstairs, Dad.
Wait, maybe it's for me.
Hello? Oh, yes, Ralphie.
It's for her.
Of course I do, Ralphie.
Oh, let's go, Dad, before they get sickening.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know, Ralph. Just a minute, Father. May I go with Ralph to a lecture tonight?
A lecture?
On mentology.
On what?
Mentology. It's the very latest thing, Father. Everyone is taking it up, but everyone.
Really? Hadn't even heard of it.
Come on, Dad.
Ralph explained it to me. You mesh your subconscious mind with your regular mind.
I must try that sometime.
And this releases such fantastic mental power that you can simply think your way to anything.
Dad.
Ralph says it's the greatest thing that ever hit civilization. Can I go?
Well, if it's that great, I guess it can't hurt you too much. Go ahead.
You're a dear, Father. Hello, Ralph. I can go.
Dad.
When? Oh, okay, I'll be ready. Bye. What time is it, Father? I'll bet I won't have time to do my hair.
Can't you just mesh your subconscious and think a few curls into it?
Oh, Father. You're so utterly pedestrian.
Well, I haven't been that before.
Dad.
Yes, Bud, let's get right down to your problem. What is it that's bothering you?
Well, doggone it. Now I can't remember what it was.
I had no idea it was that important.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Look, Dad, I asked Mom if I could...
Where are you?
In the den, Margaret.
Holy cow.
Well, are you two finished discussing Bud's flathead?
It's not flat head, it's flat top.
Well, whatever you call it doesn't much matter because I'm still against it, and I hope your father is too.
I haven't had a chance to ask him yet.
Jim, I was just thinking, I've been canning berries all day, and I haven't planned a thing for dinner. Why don't you invite us to eat out tonight?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Dad.
Oh, yes, I believe Bud has some sort of a problem. What is it, son?
Well, I knew it.
I'll get it. Hello?
Boy, I give up.
Yes, he's here. Just a minute. Bud, come back here. It's for you.
For me? How could that happen?
I think it's Joe Phillips.
Oh, thanks. Hello, Joe. No matter what it is, I can't do it.
What kind of talk is that?
That's been going on for about a week now.
Just a minute, Joe. Hey, Dad.
Yes?
Joe and some of the guys are going to take an all-day ride on their motor scooters out to the stone quarry, and they...
Oh, dear.
Well, now, wait a minute, Mom.
That's right on the main highway, isn't it?
Sure, better road that way.
Well, I don't know, Bud. That's pretty dangerous out there. A lot of high-speed traffic.
But, Dad, all the other fellows are going.
Well, maybe so. But I don't want you driving that scooter on the highway.
I knew it would turn out like this. Hello, Joe. I can't go. No, it's no use. I'm trapped. No, so long.
Now, Bud, that's not the right attitude.
Well, everybody else gets to do what they want to, but not me.
No, that's not true, Bud.
Kathy wants to go out and sell some old taffy. Sure, go ahead, great.
Well, that's...
And Betty wants to go to some old lecture and get unconscious. Sure, go ahead, great.
Well, she's...
And you want to go out to some old restaurant? Sure, go ahead, great.
Well, you're going too.
I'm not hungry. Hardly.
Now, look, Bud...
I ought to move out of here and take that room over the feed store.
Feed store?
I can get it for just practically sweeping out the place.
Yes, you could probably get your meals there, too.
Ha ha. Maybe someday you'll learn I'm old enough to lead my own life.
Bud, come back here.
Let him go. He'll cool off.
Oh. Well, what are we going to do about him, Jim?
Why, nothing.
Nothing.
Sure, he'll work this out. I know how he feels. He just doesn't understand that what we're trying to do is best for him. I couldn't see that when I was a kid either.
But he's been going on like this for at least a week. What if he would try to leave home?
Bud, leave home? There's one kid you couldn't drive out of here with a bullwhip.
Well, I know he always has been that way, but lately, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you a real quick way to put a stop to such talk. All we have to do is agree with him that he's old enough to live his own life. Then help him make arrangements to move down to the feed store. And I guarantee you that'll be the last we'll ever hear of that.
Well, maybe.
I'll go up and have a little talk with him.
Mommy!
What is it, Angel?
Would you like to buy some super keen, awful delicious, real snazzy taffy? 40 cents a box.
40 cents? I thought it was 50 cents.
I had to cut the price. I can't sell this old junk.
Well, you certainly can't with that sales approach. How many have you sold so far?
Well, counting the two you bought, I sold 2.
Well, at least you haven't lost ground. You better work on your mother there. I've got to run upstairs.
Well, how about it, Mommy? You can buy as many boxes as you want.
Well, I'm not exactly fond of taffy, but,
I'll get it. Watch out, Father. That's Ralph. I'll get it.
I'll always wonder how she can tell who it is before she ever answers the phone. Maybe her subconscious does mesh. Bud, I want to talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about.
There might be.
Daddy, can I ask Bud a question?
I wouldn't bother him now.
Hey, Bud, you want to buy some taffy?
No!
See, Daddy, this stuff just won't sell.
You better go change your clothes if we're going out to dinner.
Okay. Maybe I can sell a few boxes in front of the restaurant.
Bud, come on now. Open the door.
What is it?
Let me in and I'll tell you.
Oh, that Ralph. He can be so pedestrian at times.
Ralph, too?
Do you know what he did?
No, and I have very little desire to find out.
He asked me if it would be all right if George Hobson went along with us. And I said, just trying to be nice, you know, I said I'd be delighted. And he said, why are you so delighted? Are you just dying to have him go along? And I said...
Princess, I'm a little busy right now.
And one thing led to another, and first thing I know, he said, maybe you'd rather go with George and leave me home. And I said, maybe I would.
Betty...
Anyway, I have a date with George now.
Well, I'm glad that's straightened out. Better go get dressed now.
having any luck yet, Jim?
Not much. Bud!
Okay. I'll unlock the door.
You might as well stay and listen to this, Margaret.
Okay, what do you want?
Well, Bud, old man, your mother and I have been talking over what you said, and we've come to the conclusion that you're absolutely right.
About what?
About you having arrived at that point in life when you're able to go out on your own, to make your own decision, to live your own life.
Yeah?
We not only agree with you, but we're for it 100%.
Now, wait, Jim.
Bud, you, say you can get a room in the feed store?
Well, it's upstairs over it.
I see. Well, now, just in case you don't get a job right away, you might need a little rent money for the first few months, so here's $10.
Now do you want to buy some taffy, Bud?
Kathy, you get out of here. Well, let's see now, Bud. I guess that takes care of everything. Oh, yes, you'll need a suitcase. I'll get that small one of mine.
No, Dad. Don't get the suitcase.
Oh? Changed your mind, huh?
Heck, no. I've got a lot of stuff. I'll need Mom's big old trunk.
We will return to the Andersons in a moment.
The radio cast was different as well as the television cast. June Woodley played Margaret, and in later episodes, Jean Vanderpyle. Rhoda Williams played Betty, Ted Donaldson played Bud, and Kathy was played by Norma Jean Nilsson. Now, on television, Jane Wyatt played Margaret Anderson, Eleanor Donahue played Betty, Billy Gray played Bud, and Lauren Chapin played Kitten, or Kathy. Father Knows Best, June 12, 1952 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. After these messages for your favorite radio station, the news from 70 years ago today. Thanks for listening.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. We're listening to an episode of Father Knows Best as it was originally broadcast Thursday, June 12th, 1952. In the newspapers of that Thursday 70 years ago, these were some of the headlines. U.S. military police searched wrecked and deserted prison compounds for possibly hundreds of anti-communist war prisoners condemned and murdered by Red Kangaroo courts. The mutilated bodies of 15 victims of communist fury found in Compound 77 shortly after it was evacuated yesterday. U.S. officers said all 15 had been tortured and slain in a night-long orgy of trials and killings that continued until a few hours before the prisoners were herded to a new, smaller, and more manageable stockade. The House Banking Committee yesterday approved a one-year extension of price, wage, and rent controls, but voted to abolish credit controls, including remaining curbs on housing. The committee wrote these major points into legislation to replace the present Defense Production Act, which expires June 30th. Final action may be taken later today. The Senate underscored its virtual demand that President Truman use the Taft-Hartley Act in the nationwide steel strike, and it bluntly indicated the next move is up to the White House. By a roll call vote of 54 to 26, the Senate batted down another in a series of amendments designed to give Truman the emergency seizure powers he requested. The amendment, sponsored by Senator Morse, the Republican of Oregon, was the fourth seizure plan rejected by the chamber in less than 24 hours. After killing the Morse proposal, the Senate sidetracked the whole steel issue and turned to an immigration bill. Earlier forecasts by some government officials that Truman would yield to the Senate's repeated rebuffs gave way to doubt during the day as the White House remained silent. General Dwight D. Eisenhower reported as saying yesterday that given certain conditions, there's a possibility of removing the fear of war within 2 or 3 years. Eisenhower discussed the prospect with New York Republican delegates at a closed meeting yesterday. One of those present said the general told the delegates that the buildup of economic and military strength in the free nations, plus a feeling of confidence in themselves, would create a condition in which peace could be preserved. The sheriff of Lapeer County, Michigan, mauled 9 days ago when he tried to evict a widow from her farm, won authority yesterday to hire emergency deputies. Sheriff Clark Gregory told reporters after a circuit judge told him he could add as many deputies as he needed, "I'm going to enforce the law." The husky sheriff, an ex-Marine, tossed off the farm of Mrs. Elizabeth Stevens, 60, by a group of angry farmers June 2nd. They were trying to prevent him from evicting the widow from the farm she lost at a sheriff's auction. Mrs. Stevens had refused to pay a $172 assessment on a 17-year-old bankruptcy of a mutual insurance organization. Extraction of a front tooth by the old-fashioned string method, a big event in the life of 8-year-old Bonnie Hart of Claremont, Illinois. Anxious for an enduring record of the occasion, she sent the tooth, string still attached, to Governor Adlai Stevenson, accompanied by this letter: "Honorable Mr. Stevenson, I just had my first front tooth pulled today at 4:15 o'clock, and I would like to have a certificate to show. My daddy says you have to have a record proof of everything, so please send me one by return mail with the Great Seal of Illinois on it. Your dutiful constituent, Bonnie Hart." Upon having the tooth identified as an upper right cuspid decubitus incisor, the government mailed Bonnie a certificate attesting to the extraction, complete with the impression of the Great Seal. And those some of the day's top news stories, as reported in the newspapers of Thursday, June 12, 1952, on your radio, Father Knows Best. The conclusion we will hear next on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
On Monday's Classic Radio Theater, Mickey Rooney in the short-run series Shorty Bell, Cub Reporter, as Mickey Rooney portraying Shorty Bell, the young man trying to make it in the newspaper business. And in this episode, Shorty's attempt to write the great American novel of the newspaper business finds him in charge of Poogie, a Hollywood movie dog. That'll be coming up on Monday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But now the conclusion of Father Knows Best. Lead your own life, bud. June 12, 1952, 70 years ago today.
young Bud Anderson has elaborate plans for his future. He's going to rent a room over Engel's Feed Store for $5 a month. How are Jim and Margaret reacting to this turn of events? Well, I think we can safely say the reactions are mixed. Like this.
Jim, he's dragging that old trunk in from the garage. I thought you said if we agreed to let him go, he'd stay home.
Now leave it to me. He won't get far with that old trunk. He'll be lucky if it holds together until he gets it upstairs.
Hey, Dad, I got the trunk. Hold the door open.
Now what's he dragging in?
What are you hauling that trunk up the stairs for?
Get out of the way, child ahead.
Bud, you shouldn't be pulling that trunk up here.
Oh, I tried pushing it, but it wouldn't work. Grab that rope and stir it in, will you, Dad?
For Pete's sake, what's the rope for?
One end fell out of the trunk. I had to tie it together.
Where's Bud going?
Kitten, I know this is going to be a shock to you, but I want you to take it bravely. Bud is moving out.
Can I have his room?
Kathy, Bud isn't...
Yes, he is.
That's Ralph. I'll get it.
Maybe it's something in the way the phone rings. Some kind of code that Ralph has rigged up.
Where are you moving to, Bud?
Never mind, Kathy. Bud's just...
He has a fine room up over Engel's Feed Store, Kitten. We'll all drop down to see him now and then. Christmas, 4th of July, you know.
Oh, you folks can come down at any time you want. It'll be okay with Mr. Engels.
No, we don't want to clutter up your life. You'll be busy, sweeping and all.
Mommy, if Bud can move someplace, why can't I?
Now, Angel, Bud hasn't moved any place yet. He's just talking about it.
Oh, he's doing more than talking. He's moving, aren't you, Bud?
Oh, sure. Hand me that stuff on the bed there, will you, Dad?
Yeah. Catcher's mitt, football.
Bud, all you're putting in there is junk. You'll need handkerchiefs and clean shirts, towels.
Oh, he won't need towels, Margaret. There'll be plenty of old feed sacks around the store.
What are you going to eat down there, Bud?
Eat? Oh, I'll find something.
You better buy some taffy. 30 cents a box.
30 cents? The bottom's really falling out of the taffy market.
That was Ralph calling again. Now he's trying to scare me. He says if I go to the lecture with George, that he'll go with Janie Liggett. And I'm supposed to be simply terrified.
Hey, this trunk would make a neat playhouse.
Get out of my stuff.
Men are so infantile, so positively infantile.
Betty, if we're going out to dinner, I want you to put on a dress.
Is that why Bud's packing the trunk to go out to dinner?
Bud's moving down to the feed store.
What?
I wonder if I should move or just take Bud's room.
Betty, you heard me. Kathy, go in and get cleaned up.
We're going down to Emerson's Grill.
Emerson's Grill? Oh, boy!
What's so great about that? All they got down there is food.
Bud, you'd better come with us.
No, I got to get down to the feed store. Do a few things down there.
That's right, Margaret. Bud's on his own now. He has things to do. We don't want to interfere.
Well, I guess I got everything in the trunk.
What do you mean? There's only a few things in the bottom.
You really ought to fill it up. Make it heavy. Put in some old books and a nice new broom. Mr. Engels might help you carry it up to the room. You want to make a good impression on him.
Well, I got everything I need, I guess.
Jim, come into our room a minute.
What is it, honey?
I'll be going, I guess.
Just a minute, Bud. Come in here, Jim.
Now, Margaret.
Dear, we can't let him start out like this. He's going to do it.
No, he isn't. I wish you'd stop worrying. That's exactly what's making him go on like this. I was a boy once myself. I know so well what's going through his mind. He wants us to plead with him to stay.
Well, let's do it.
No, honey. If you do, it'll make him all the more determined to go. Now, please, let me handle this.
Well, if you ask me, I think you should put your foot down. A boy his age...
Just leave it to me, Margaret.
I'm going.
Mother, what's going on? Is Bud gone completely daffy?
I don't know. Ask your father.
Guess I'll be going.
Hold your horses, Bud.
I can just hear my friends saying, "Where's your brother?" And I have to say, "Oh, he's living in the feed store."
Is Bud really moving, Daddy?
Now go finish dressing, both of you. I'll take care of Bud.
See you later.
Bud?
He's got his trunk at the top of the stairs. If it starts sliding down, he's gone.
As if I didn't have enough problems with that Ralph.
Ta-ta.
Could I live with him at the feed store? I could sleep in the trunk.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Bud, I want to see you before you go.
Okay, but hurry up. I'm going.
Now, the rest of you finish dressing. We're going to leave for dinner in 10 minutes. Come on, Margaret.
But Jim...
Don't worry. I'm going to show you how to handle a boy. I have this whole thing planned out, so go along with me. Agree with everything I say.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing.
I do, believe me. Well, all packed and ready to go. Are you, Bud?
Yeah, I got everything.
Well, that's fine. I'm sorry to see you leave, but your mother and I have talked it over, and we've decided that it'll do you good to get out and make your own way in the world.
Well, a guy's got to live his own life.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Well, goodbye, Bud. Look in on us if you ever by this way.
Oh, sure.
How are you going to get your meals?
Margaret, it might be a good idea, Bud, to take a hot plate along in case you want to cook your meals in the room. I don't suppose you have a kitchen.
Kitchen?
You probably should take some canned things along.
Yes, canned soup is good. And if you don't have electricity, you can always eat it cold.
Cold soup?
Margaret.
Well, I'll have sandwiches and stuff.
Oh, sure. There's nothing like a peanut butter sandwich for breakfast. And a can of water.
Can?
Well, you probably won't have glasses at first. You can drink out of the empty soup cans.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Margaret, remind me to wire Mr. Foster up at the Virginia Lakes Resort. I reserved a cabin for 5 this summer. I'll have to let him know there'll only be 4 of us.
Yes, that's right. Oh, Mr. Foster will miss going fishing with you, Bud.
Oh, gee, I might be able to get away for a week, maybe.
Oh, no, you'll be sweeping out the feed store every morning.
Well, maybe I could get Claude Messner to do it for me.
No, we don't want to clutter up your life. Well, goodbye, son. Your mother and Betty and Kathy and I have to be on our way to the Emerson Grill.
Well, Dad...
We don't want to be late for that good pot roast. Brown gravy and mashed potatoes. Apple pie.
Jim.
Gee, Dad.
And we don't want to hold you up. I know you want to get down to your room. Open your can of soup.
Jim, please.
Well, Dad, come to think of it, telephone, I'll answer it.
The poor boy.
It had to be done that way, Margaret. He's ready to stay home now. You couldn't have handled it any other way.
I'm ready. Where's old Bud? Gone to the feed store?
No, I think your brother's changed his mind, kitten.
Oh, darn it. What did he have to do that for? It was just getting exciting.
I don't know. Sometimes I think I don't know anything about children.
I'm ready. Where's Bud?
Oh, he's not leaving after all. Daddy talked him out of it.
Well, thank goodness.
Where is Bud? Is he still on the phone?
He isn't down here. The phone is hung up.
Well, where'd he go? Jim, come downstairs. Find Bud.
Oh, Margaret, he probably went in the kitchen.
That's one thing about Bud. He's never lost. You can always find him in the kitchen.
He's not in the kitchen.
Who left this note on the hall table? It's Bud's handwriting.
What's this?
Jim, Bud's gone.
Gone?
Did he go? Good old Bud.
Look at this note. Am leaving, never coming back. You will never see me again.
Father, I thought you talked him out of it.
Well, Jim, don't just stand there. We've got to find him.
I can't believe he...
You practically pushed him out of the house.
I did not. Betty, you and Kathy go out and look for him. We'll search the house. Betty, you go south, and Kathy, you go north.
How far shall I go?
Make a circle.
How big a circle?
Should I call Ralph?
Call Engel's Feed Store.
Betty, you go outside. I'll do the phoning.
Who's blowing that horn?
Confound it. Who's in our car?
Let's go. I'm hungry.
Bud.
Thank heaven.
Wouldn't you know it? Sitting in the car waiting to go and eat.
What a relief.
Honey, what were you so excited about? I told you he'd never leave home.
Well, the five Andersons are all accounted for. The lure of the independent life over Engel's Feed Store has faded for Bud, and the family is solidly united once again and happily headed for Emerson's Grill, like this.
Bud, why didn't you tell us you were going out to the car?
Where else would I go?
That silly note on the hall table. What was the idea of leaving that? What a crazy thing. Never coming back. Never see you again.
Yeah, getting our hopes up all for nothing.
Hey, what about that note, Bud?
Nobody in his right mind would write a thing like that.
That wasn't my note.
Then whose was it?
I answered the phone, and it was Ralph. He told me to write that note for him and leave it for you.
That Ralph. What an utter child.
I wonder where he'll go while he's never coming back.
Hey, there's Engel's Feed Store.
Say, that's an idea. Betty, call Ralph. Tell him to bring a broom.
Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson. In our cast were Rhoda Williams as Betty, Gene Vanderpyle, Ted Donaldson, Norma Jean Nilsson, Bill Foreman, and Don Stanley speaking. Father Knows Best, directed by Andrew C. Love, was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Paul West and Roswell Rogers.
June 12th, 1952, Father Knows Best here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A lot of you have said we'd like to show our appreciation. Some of you have done some things that are really nice. You've sent nice cards, nice little gifts, and some of you even like our friend Ted over at Radio Memories, who supplies the shows, but also Jimmy over in Boston, who always sends these elaborate things. I have one sitting here in my office, in my home, of Stan Freberg that he sent me, and Jimmy just goes overboard. He also sent me a Marie Wilson plaque that is at our radio station here, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. In fact, you can just buy me a coffee. You can do that by going to classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And there, not only can you stream our shows, not only there do you learn more about classic radio collecting, but you can also contact me. You can find all of our social media links there as well. That's at classicradio.stream, or anywhere podcasts are served by searching for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every Sunday. And tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.